Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria range was launched in 1999, so it's been in the market for a long time now. And what Guerlain tried to do, and I think really succeed with this line, is create a collection of fresh fragrances, in their words, in the style of a cologne, but with basically a little bit more lasting power. I think this whole line is full of fragrances which are lively. There's a purity and a clarity in the blending and the ingredients. And I think on the market, I would say they're probably some of the best in terms of the fresh fragrances out there. Atelier Cologne are a brand that also do a really good job. Acqua di Parma also. And then if we're going on a more expensive side of things, you could also add in Xerjoff and Creed. But I think when we talk about the overall package and a value proposition, I think the Aqua Allegoria line is a great collection of fresh fragrances. Definitely worth checking out. Hey, what's going on YouTube? Raj here. Hope all of you are doing well. If you're a returning subscriber, hello, thank you for stopping by again. If you're new here, thank you for subscribing to me. So in this video, yeah, Aqua Allegoria line, I've got a few samples here, one full-size bottle that I'm going to be talking about. Even though I do actually really like this line, it's not one that I've bought into much. I used to own Limon Verde, and I do now own Herba Fresca, but yeah, I can definitely see myself getting a few more. So the fragrances that I'm going to talk about in this video are Limon Verde and Herba Fresca, so those are ones that I have the most amount of experience with. But I've also got Teazzura, I've also got Nerolia Bianca, Mandarine Basilic, Pamplelune, and Coconut Fizz. So let's kick things off with Pamplelune, and I believe the pricing is pretty much the same for this entire range. You can actually get off the Guerlain website. This is the UK website, by the way. Not every country in the world you can place direct orders on the website. But here in the UK anyway, a 10 ml is available for £18, a 75 ml is available for £63, and 125 is available for £83. I have seen these on discounters, so shop around. The Aqua Allegoria range revolves around the notes of bergamot, and they add, you know, different layers of freshness into each fragrance. So Pamplelune is based on grapefruit, and the other notes in this one are blackcurrant and patchouli, along with the bergamot. Guerlain describe it as a sensual, sparkling and sensual eau de toilette. It's a cheerful breeze over a radiant and tangy grapefruit. I've done a fresh spray. I've come to the end now of this sample. Pamplelune is fantastic. It really delivers when it comes to grapefruit. It is nothing too harsh or sharp. I actually find this one to be ultra smooth from the get-go. There's a sugariness to this fragrance. I get an orange note in here, like quite a zesty orange note, which I really enjoy. Performance on my skin, with a lot of these, they're not going to last you the entire day in terms of certainly in terms of projection. I will mention where I get very good longevity. With Pamplelune, I got around that 5 to 6 hour mark. Some people won't be happy with that. Some people will think, well, you know, I can top this up during the day. Or I don't think this collection is designed to last you the entire day. It's not one of those. But you get great quality in terms of scent. So maybe there's a balance to be found here. Pamplelune is there's a white musk note in there as well. They mention patchouli, but I don't find there to be any earthy, sort of, you know, those types of accords that you might associate with patchouli. But I find this one to be very simple. It really is like cutting into a grapefruit, but smelling it from a distance. It's not too acidic. It's actually very smooth overall. Quite a simple one, really well made. I'd actually love to add this one to my collection. Maybe as we go into the summer, I might think about it. if tea-based fragrances are your cup of tea, this one might be for you. Teazzura is the one I'm talking about now, and this is actually a green tea-based one. So yeah, it doesn't have those more heavier, sometimes smokier notes of a black tea, but this one has the green, sometimes you could say also watery qualities of a green tea. And I don't actually see this one on the Guerlain website, which is never a good sign. Maybe it's been discontinued, I don't know. I have seen this quite a lot on discounter websites. The note breakdown here is citrus, bergamot, lemon, yuzu and grapefruit. There's also green tea, chamomile, jasmine, cologne, musk and vanilla. Guerlain often, this isn't off the Guerlain website as I said, but the Guerlain, when it comes to Aqua Allegoria range, don't really release many notes. So yeah, sometimes I'm not 100% sure about note breakdowns on other websites. Teazzura is actually my scent of the day, and I think it is a very nice fragrance. I wouldn't say I love this fragrance, but it does have a very calming quality. It does have a lot of just general quality, you know, on the whole. And I think what they have done with this fragrance is create basically, it's a very creamy, floral, green tea based fragrance. I don't think this is green tea like smelling it from like sipping a green tea. I think this is more the green tea leaves before they get steeped into hot water. It's very invigorating, but also maybe because of the more slightly more heavier notes, it does, which help to ground the fragrance. It's more of a calming fragrance, I feel, rather than anything too uplifting. It's beautifully done. It has good performance on my skin. This is going now, what's the time now? So this one has probably been on my skin for about 6 or 7 hours, and it's a skin scent. Okay, it's not one of those loud ones, but I think it's starting to fade now, it really is. So green tea, there's a fruitiness in here. There's a high-pitched white floral note in here, which I would say counterbalances the more citrus green tea notes. And actually overall it's a really nice combination. Is it one that I would add to my collection? Well, I would happily welcome it, but let's just say it's not towards the top of the list. Next up is Mandarine Basilic, and I can see this one on the Guerlain website, which is a good thing. And they describe it as a sparkling and cheerful eau de toilette, a singular duo steeped in grace and lightness. Ingredients for this one: mandarin, basil, green tea. I've had a few samples of this one in sort of my own, or my other samples that I've bought from other places, and a couple that were actually given to me. These are the official Guerlain sample cards. I know it looks a little bit bright here, but you can probably just about make it out, I think. This is the inside of the sample. These are 1 ml samples, and inside they say luncheon on the grass of a riverbank, biting into a tangy fruit, listening to a bird song. Mandarine Basilic is a nice fragrance, but didn't quite grab me, if I'm honest with you. It is well made, it is watery, it's a watery orange. It's like a diluted glass of orange juice with a bit of sugar all mixed in there. Maybe a touch of mint, a sprig of mint, which is adding a very nice freshness and an uplifting quality, which can be said about a lot of these fragrances. But I felt it felt a bit flat on my skin. It had a feeling of a orange carbonated like drink, like a soda, which has just been opened and left out for like a day or two, which has just gone a little bit flat. Actually, that's maybe not a bad thing in terms of an olfactory impression that it leaves on you, but it was just one of those where I wanted it to be a little bit more zesty, a little bit more zingy. But for what it is, it's definitely a well-made fragrance. Doesn't really last a huge amount on my skin, to be honest. This was one of the more subtle ones, shall we say. But I did wear this when we had some good weather here in the UK, and for the first few hours it actually does perform really, really well, and it's quite noticeable. Overall well made, but just doesn't quite grab me like some of the others in this collection. Next up is Herba Fresca, so fresh herbs. This is a fragrance that I own a bottle of. It's the only Aqua Allegoria that I have in my collection at the moment. Guerlain described this as it's a spontaneous and natural eau de toilette, an invitation to walk barefoot in freshly cut grass, sparkling with dew. Yeah, I absolutely love this fragrance. I've recently picked it up. I've mentioned it in the haul video, so I might be coming across a little bit repetitive here, but I think a couple of sprays, and these sprayers are pretty good. I really do like these sprayers. That is just so wonderful. It really, really is. It is quite, it's very evocative, it's very natural, it's very lifelike. It totally reminds me of sitting on a lawn that has been freshly mowed. You're sipping a glass of lemonade. It's got a bit of mint and ice cubes in there. It's super fresh. It is very, I would say, energizing. It has a great lasting power. It is almost slightly smoky, almost like there's a touch of vetiver in here, but you know how Creed's original, well, you might know, Creed's original vetiver has the more, they say they use the leaf of the vetiver as opposed, or the grass, or as opposed to the root, which gives an elevated sense of freshness. I feel like that could be the case in Herba Fresca as well. Minty, but not toothpastey. Grassy, but not too lifelike. It does have that freshly cut grass feel, but it doesn't feel literal to me. You know, it feels like a fragrance. It's not a combination of scents that you might find in the world, and they've literally interpreted it. They've blended it nicely to make it feel like you are wearing something that is sprayed onto your skin, as opposed to walking around nature and just smelling individual things. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you, but it does to me at least. Herba Fresca, really happy to have this one in my collection. Definitely worth checking out. I think actually this one, I need to double check, but I think this one came out in 1999 with the, you know, when they launched this. So yeah, been around for a long time. Next up is Coconut Fizz, which is a fragrance that I like the sound of, I like the name, but this fragrance didn't really work out for me. In the description for this one, sit beneath coconut trees in a tropical garden and savor the freshness of coconut water. So when it comes to coconut in fragrances, it's probably not one of my favorite notes. I find it sometimes to be a little bit too, it's too sort of body lotion-y, you know, it's a little bit too tropical, floral kind of vibe. I actually, in nature, like if you actually smell coconuts, depending if it's freshly cut from the tree or if it's, you know, your dried coconut, it's a really amazing scent. You know, there's nothing better than you're lying on the beach and somebody comes over, cuts open the coconut for you, puts in a little bit of rum as well, and you're enjoying that drink, and then you can scoop out the flesh afterwards. I really, really enjoy that scent. At this moment in time, I haven't found a fragrance that can replicate that. I know Virgin Island Water by Creed is often mentioned, which I do enjoy, but yeah, I mean, actually that is a pretty good fragrance, to be honest, but Coconut Fizz doesn't really go to that level to me. Also, Gorse, I believe, is a fragrance I have a sample of by Laboratory Perfumes. Need to get into that. Anyway, going off on a tangent, this one is coconut water, water fruit, they say on the website, and sandalwood. It came across as a little bit scratchy. It came across as a little bit cheap body lotion on my skin. It had an exotic floral note, which I couldn't quite put my finger on. Maybe ylang ylang, I'm not really 100% sure. It was a fragrance that didn't really last too long on my skin, and yeah, overall was kind of forgetful, to be honest. Next up is a fragrance that I used to own. This is Limon Verde. I don't see it on the Guerlain website, which could mean it's been discontinued, but I have seen it on other discounters. Quite sort of available, so yeah, it's still out there for sure. This is a fragrance that, even though I did sell it, I definitely would welcome it back into my collection. You know, a few years ago, or maybe a year ago, I was more into sort of recycling the collection, bringing in stuff, moving out, trying new things, but you know, I really enjoyed this fragrance. I remember buying this one right before I went on holiday to Spain, and it really worked on this summer holiday. This fragrance is kind of how I would have liked coconut fizz to be. It is more tropical, it's green, it's citrusy, but I did prefer this one a little bit more. It's described as a vibrant tropical fragrance that whisks the senses to the sun-drenched paradise of a tropical island. It's got lime in there, there's tropical fruits, figs, sugarcane, green notes, tonka bean, and yeah, a whole lot of goodness. This one is very beautiful. It comes across as, yes, tropical, as slightly body lotiony, but I guess this time in a good way. Creamy. It does actually feel like there is coconut in this one, which I didn't get in Coconut Fizz. The lime in here is on the watery side. There is definitely a sugary quality to this one. I get maybe a touch of melon in here, like a white, is it a white melon? I would say more, no, it's more on the sort of yellow lemon kind of feel. I do really enjoy it. It does kind of have like a fruit salad kind of vibe with a little bit of body lotion on your skin. It could smell like you've just been at the beach kind of vibe. Very, very nicely done. I do like this one a lot. I'm not quite sure why it's been discontinued. I imagine it's all down to sales, but it's kind of hard to believe that this one didn't sell well. Maybe it got lost in the whole range, but I think if you can get your hands on it, it's definitely worth checking out. I got good performance from this one. Again, not going to last you the entire day. That's not the point with this collection. I guess you'd be lucky if it did. But it's in that, 5 to 6 hour range. Worth checking out for sure. Nerolia Bianca is the next fragrance to talk about. It says here top notes of bitter orange tree essence and petitgrain, middle notes of neroli and orange blossom absolute. So they really are utilizing the orange tree and the ingredients and notes that are it gives. Base notes of white musk, white amber, and cedarwood. This is a really great fragrance. I do like this one quite a lot. There are a lot of neroli based fragrances out on the market, so yeah, I'm not sure if this one particularly stands out, but if I had to say how it kind of does stand out, is that it has a more sugary feel rather than a fresh citrusy feel, if that makes sense. A lot of neroli fragrances do actually sometimes have this sweet floral sugary vibe, so it smells a little bit unique to me, but not entirely. Anyway, I've actually come to the end of this sample, so I'm just going to smell it from the cap. And I love this petitgrain in here, which gives this watery citric feel. Again, very, very uplifting. It really just lifts your spirits, If you're wearing like a white linen shirt and shorts with like a nice pair of, like brown loafers, something along those lines, you're just strolling around your resort that you're in, or you're strolling around on the beach, something like that. This is the perfect fragrance to accompany you on your holiday. It does have this wonderful sweet but never over the top sugary feel. The neroli here in here is bright. It has a lot of the qualities that I like in neroli, which has a more fresh citrus feel, and it doesn't go in the direction of heavy orange blossom. Orange blossom can be very heady, it can be very jammy, sort of marmalade, like an orangey marmalade kind of vibe. That's not the case in Nerolia Bianca. This one is more on the light and airy side. It doesn't have anything that weighs it down. It's a beautiful fragrance, definitely worth checking out. Guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Aqua Allegoria line. Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Which one is your favorite, or which ones do you like? Yeah, if you like this type of content, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.